Welcome to Melanated and Spiritually Woke. I'm your host, Adorable Earth Angel. I'm a holistic wellness educator of 12 years with a master's in public health, energy healing of 7 years, and have been a Black female spiritual alchemist my whole life. Each week, we'll be sharing uplifting, spiritually focused wellness practices to best support you in regaining your personal power, or we'll have special guest interviews with the same intention. This show is in service to all those listening, and especially for folks of color who are seeking information to support their physical, mental, and emotional spiritual awakening. These practices will help you live your best life. Hi, thank you for coming back. Or if this is your first time, welcome to the show. Melanated and Spiritually Woke is a show that is dedicated to the uplifting qualities that come when we create space and time to focus on parts of ourselves that go beyond just our physical everyday life. This concept that there's a whole aspect of us that is in spiritual existence. You know, they say as above, so below, and that our connection with our higher energy, our higher power, in some way helps us to navigate the earthly planes with less suffering, with more love, with more compassion, operating from a sense of dignity, operating from a sense of fulfillment and meaning. And that we have all of that information on offer to us when we connect with when we connect with our angels and our higher source and our power and our wisdom. And there's just a great abundance of spiritual awakening happening right now for everyone on the planet. It may seem within the mainstream that that's not true, but there's something that a lot of spiritualists and healers and teachers have known for years, and that's that we are actually coming into the Great Awakening, and that we're coming into a paradigm shift, and that there's even the opportunity to have such a nuanced conversation as talking about being a melanated person who's into healing, who's into bettering themselves, who's into living their best life through spirituality, being a lens, a lifestyle. Spirituality isn't a diet. You're like, okay, I'm just going to meditate and then I'll be great and I can stop. And it's like spirituality is like a lifestyle. It's not easy at times to adhere to a lifestyle change when we've been operating from a certain place for a long time. But it's so necessary and essential in these times for us to find ourselves in community where we can be supported in the upliftment of our lives, because there's so many things vying for our attention. There's so many distractions that will pull us away from our personal power and make it almost impossible for us to achieve our dreams. And so this show acts as a beacon of hope. We've been talking a lot about, in the past couple of months, we've been really focusing a lot on astrology in this show. I'm still finding my voice around what is the most important thing to offer. And astrology has been something that's been so helpful for me in helping me understand and organize my life in a way where I know the energies that I'm working with. I know myself better. I know how to love myself for things that may seem in this society. Like, something that I know about myself through astrology is that I'm a strong and powerful Black woman. And when and there's aspects in my chart that show that I'm here to transform. And with that, what do we do with strong women in society, right? So but it's in my chart. So it's like, I have to lean into that, or I'm going to feel horrible my entire life. I have to lean into the fact that I'm a leader, that I'm a magnetic, powerful woman who can transform the world. And so I have to do that. And I have to hold myself accountable. And astrology holds me accountable for my gifts and talents, and really is like a blueprint for me activating something within myself that can truly lead to joy and empowerment and upliftment. Because when we live into being ourselves fully, we gift the whole world. And it may not seem like, oh, like if I'm leaning into myself, it means I'm being selfish. That's not true. What we do need is we actually do need people to be selfish. We need them to be themselves. We don't need anyone to be anyone else. We need people that have personalities and be themselves, and operate, of course, from as much love and compassion as possible. And so we find ourselves in these times where there's just a need more than ever before to have a space within ourselves that we're consistently going to and returning to, a place within ourselves, an internal landscape where we are pulling on our inner strength and starting to build and spiritually invest in ourselves, spiritually be able to drink from a well, a resource, a reservoir within. And yeah, the ability for us to bring our own water to the desert, because life will life will pull us into that. And that's actually a great analogy for these times, because there's a lot, like within the astrology that I'm going to speak to, there's a lot going on that is pulling all of our energy into this very earthy experience. And that can be kind of brutal. We have basically 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Capricorn. And Capricorn isn't a negative energy. Capricorn is the third earth sign in the zodiac, meaning that it is the earthiest, densest, and very visibilized manifestation of our dreams, of what we've been putting in. Capricorn is the energy of what you've put in, and it's the energy of seeing that be manifested and visibilized in reality. It's not a dream. It's not a concept. It's not the energy of working on a project. It is almost like the result of a project. It's the result of your efforts. And so all these planets going into Capricorn shows like what our efforts are, which can be a very gratifying and genuinely beautiful time. And I just want to also mention this reading, this show is dated for Wednesday, the 11th of December through the 18th of December. We go weekly. And so the energies I'm speaking to are really, I just want to hone down that the energies are talking about this time in space, but also this interpretation doesn't just neatly fit into a week. It's not just like a neat package. It could be beyond this week. You could have been feeling this, what I'm talking about, for years. You could have been feeling this expression in your life of, I'm putting in the time, I'm putting in the energy, I have my nose down, and I'm grinding. And that is the Capricorn way. That is the way of life. You were just climbing that mountain. Capricorn, the archetype, is the goat. The greatest of all time. And then how do you become great? You put your nose down and you find the routine to create that work and that effort. And it's this karmic energy of what we put in, we get back, and karma's finally coming. And so what's exciting for a lot of us have been, I know out there, a lot of you have been working your butt off. And you've been met with a lot of failure, quote unquote failure. And, I've been working with a lot of clients these past years, and they've been working hard to change their lives. And it hasn't been this easy kind of like, oh, I'm just going to change my career. Or, oh, I'm going to just, I'm just going to start a relationship. Or, oh, I'm just going to, be a mom, be a dad, be a parent. And it's like all this energy recently has been like, What are you going to give up? What are you going to focus on? What are you going to say is yours to do? Hasn't been easy. Has not been easy. And it's very beautiful right now to be in the space of surviving all of those challenges. I just want to say congratulations, because I know that a lot of people out there have been going through it for years, and that's been intentional. That's been on purpose. There's been a lot of deconditioning through having to go through those difficulties. What I mean by that is that there's, the difficult energy has been all of the ways in which our conditioning has created limitations on and restrictions on who we are and what we want. And in order to break through those limitations and restrictions, we've had to go through them. They say the only way past something is through it. I'm going to say that again. The only way we get past a challenge, an obstacle, a goal is to go through it. And, the ways in which we have support in our community around us, the ways we feel an authentic connection to that goal, that dream. Some of us have also recognized a lot of unknowns, a lot of unknown things we didn't know about ourselves. What happens when you find out something about yourself just through the process of living life? Do we embrace those things, or do we feel shame or guilt? And so there's been a lot as we move towards building the life that we're here to live. All of these kind of Pandora boxes are just hiding that we stumble across and open up on our way to raising the frequency within ourselves, to raising the vibration. I was listening to a powerful, I was watching a powerful video from a science and non-duality conference, and the conference featured some prominent social justice, Buddhist, mindfulness, people of color mostly, and they were on a panel and they were talking about social justice and oneness. And at this conference, the main thing about this conference is that it is a conference to talk about non-duality, which is this idea that we don't exist, there isn't good or evil, there isn't black or white, that there's this equanimous place within ourselves. There's a very Zen Buddhist kind of aspect about it, in that there isn't a necessity to define so much. It's basically a very metaphysical conference, and I haven't been myself, but I watched a video recently. You could go on YouTube and type in Are We One Social Justice Sans Conference if you want to watch it, because I found the conversation really well done. And I'm bringing it up because I could talk about more of it throughout the show today, but there was a man named Orlando Bishop, and he said that metaphysicians and scientists and metaphysicians are scientists, but he was saying metaphysicians and other Western-based scientists have confirmed that we have 65 DNA markers from our ancestors, because we have the DNA from 5 generations back. And, and what he articulated it so beautifully, as he always does. I've been listening to him for a couple of years now. But this idea that the things that we are going through, the questions, the challenges, the conflicts in life are not just ours. That there's 65 different experiences that are being healed through us, through our lifetime. And when you sit with that, there's power in that. And it helps me, it helps me to try to be in a place where I'm more compassionate. When I recognize that there's 65 energies. Like within those 5 generations, there's 65 different people who had pain, who endured slavery, who endured injustice, who also had joy, and who understood what their power was. And I get all of that. And so it's like, we're not just here from nowhere. Like there's 65 people that we're still tethered to in this lifetime that are healing through us. So there's lenses of patience that come with that, which bring us back like to this understanding of Capricorn, because it is this energy of legacy. Capricorn is the archetype of legacy. It's the archetype of tradition, of nationalism, it's your energy of like your family structure. Like Cancer, which is on its opposite axis point, Cancer is the energy of how to nurture the family. Capricorn is the energy of making and building up a family. And so it's this energy of who is on your family tree. Well, Cancer is more so like, how do people interact and love each other and nourish each other and spend time together and build connection. Capricorn is the structures. This is the mother, this is the father, these are the kids, this is the auntie, this is the uncle. So it's and in thinking about that, there's been so much around these structures being challenged within our family systems. And the oneness that we're all kind of seeking to aspire to when we think of science and non-duality, and which is this concept of being equanimous, of being in a peaceful place, of being in acceptance that we, at the end of the day, we are this one energy. We come from source. We come from God. Every single person, no matter what their actions are, come from the energy of God, of source. There's oneness there. But there's also this conundrum, this huge challenge, because within this idea of coming into oneness, there is this archetype of this is the proper way that we are one. And we've seen that, of course. It's not a secret. It's called patriarchy. And patriarchy is this insidious philosophy and theory, because it's a reality. It's all these things that we need to aspire to have male dominance. And patriarchy, and woven in that, is white male dominance. Is that we need white male dominance in our lives in order for our lives to be in alignment with the oneness that is proper. And right now, we're in this really big arc, this spiritual arc that is dismantling patriarchy. It's dismantling this whiteness, this white male hierarchy, because we're recognizing that it is toxic and it is inhumane and it is not sustainable. And it's something that I believe that a lot of people who signed up to be Black people and brown people in this planet, a lot of folks who are here, and a lot of white allies who are here to dismantle patriarchy, that we signed up knowing fully well that this is not going to be an easy battle, that we're here on purpose and that we're ready to roll up our sleeves and do the work. And a huge part of what these years have prepared us for is the changing of the tides. Because patriarchy has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and it's going to take a lot of concerted effort to dismantle. And so all of the testing and all of the prodding and all of the understanding of like, what is your truth? Not what society's truth is. What is your truth? How has patriarchy affected your life? I'm curious. How has this archetype of white male superiority affected your life, regardless of who you are right now, whoever's listening, regardless. You could be a white person listening to the show. You could be a black person. We have listeners from everywhere. And patriarchy has affected your life. And the effects of it are not sustainable if we're going to continue to be on this planet, because patriarchy is a cancer to Mother Earth. Patriarchy is a cancer to Mother Earth. It kills her. It constricts her. It is not divine masculine energy. Divine masculine energy uplifts. It gives support. It creates a container for us to go somewhere that's uplifting. There's a sense of compassion with divine masculine. There's a strength and a willingness to recognize the need to share one's strength. Divine masculine energy doesn't dominate. It doesn't try to overpower. It recognizes its strength in its lane, and it supports others in claiming their strength. That is the promise of the new paradigm that we're all praying into collectively. And it requires us to wake up fully to the ways in which we participated in our own oppression, how we've been oppressed, and to take the powerful determination in healing all of it. It is powerful when we say that we're going to allow ourselves to heal the ways in which patriarchy has defined, how it defined 65 lives. And this idea that we have the luxury to even contemplate our consciousness, which wasn't really a luxury for our ancestors. They were just surviving. But here we are with this ability to contemplate oneness. It's amazing. It's phenomenal that is and it's a privilege. And it's something that is also a challenge. It's so many things. So right now in these times, we have all this Capricorn energy, and we have the sun, and we have Mercury in Sagittarius. And what that does is that keeps us going. That helps pull us through all of this dense energy. It is this idea of being in a desert, which is, for some people, they'd be like, give me some desert weather right now because it's cold. But, it's this, like, for one, it's that building up our spiritual reservoir makes it so that as we go through these challenges, we brought our own water. We have what we need. We have our resources to get through. And the analogy that I'm being shown is us being in a desert and us crossing this desert. And those of us who, were able to prepare, we have our camel, we have the proper clothing, we have our water, we have our reserves. We're prepared to make this crossing because it's a physical landscape. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. And we're not just going to run through the desert. It's big. It's ancient. It's, we may see pyramids. So there may be a lot of ancient, old, and prized civilizations that were built. And we're on this exploration because Sagittarius is the energy of the adventurer. It's the energy of exploring. And so there's this idea that we're on an adventure, right? But the adventure is taking us past looking at the legacy of these big structures that have fallen. Because civilizations over time, they rise and they fall. That is historic. And if they're able to alter and change, then they survive. A lot of the civilizations that are still here to these days, they've adapted. They were able to adapt. And so we're going through and we're walking in the desert and we're seeing what happens when you don't adapt. And it's hot and we're moving really slow because Capricorn moves really slow. And it's a slow, arduous journey. And also I would say the sun in this analogy represents Sagittarius, because the sun is in Sagittarius. And it represents like we're walking towards the sun, like that we're walking towards the east. We're walking towards the new hope. We're walking towards the new truth and what is ours, what is the truth about our life. And this is the journey. This is the analogy for what people might be experiencing right now, is that they are like in this desert. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to go. You're fully you're in this journey. You're on this journey. And the only thing you can do is keep going. Ancestors are telling me right now, someone needs to hear this. I want you to know that you are exactly where you need to be on this really hard journey. And just to keep going. Because there's not really a choice at this point. Because at the other end of this desert is this new identity, this new opportunity. It's a new opportunity in your career, a new relationship opportunity to take things into a more committed place. Capricorn is very committed. It is very committed to this journey. It fully leans into it and it doesn't turn around from it. It builds up its life so that it has the structures and the resources to do it. And so the karma that we're coming into is seeing and feeling that we have those resources, or seeing the lack of it. Oh no, we need reinforcements. We need more nourishment. It's okay to take a break if you've been walking in the desert all day. It's just to find a shady space and just relax and rejuvenate. But recognize you're going to have to get back on that camel and keep on going and keep on trekking and keep on making it through. And so, yeah, there's this excitement around this energy of action. Sagittarius is a fire sign as well. And fire is the energy of action. It's the energy of movement. So right now it's the time to kind of move things and get things done. Mars is in Scorpio, which is the water. and Scorpio is this water that runs deep. So there's this deep, powerful drive energy that we have to work with. You know, there's this powerful drive. And so no matter what dangers await you in the desert, there's this protection. Scorpio is the energy of being very protected. Like nothing is messing with you. You know, nothing is messing with you. The only thing that messes with you is your own psyche in this analogy. When you have the Scorpio and Mars, it's like you could run hot. You could get in. You could like, if someone on the expedition says something the wrong way, you could be fighting. When you recognize you need to be channeling that energy to not fight with others, but to move forward, because you like fighting with others isn't going to change the fact that you have to get through the desert. You could turn and go, it's your fault I'm in this desert. You know, it's your fault. You could turn to other people and yell at them. I hate you. And that would not be the correct use of Scorpio energy. Scorpio and Mars. Mars energy is passion, it's drive, and it's driving you through this desert. This is like good energy. This is a great combination to pull you through the other side of this desert, is having that Mars and Scorpio. That's passion, that's drive, that's being resourceful. Scorpio energy is highly resourceful. So if you've been feeling like, like a lot of people have been like, oh my God, you're right, adorable. I'm in this desert. I've been in this desert for years. I feel like, when am I going to be free from this desert? When am I going to find myself in this utopic paradise that I'm moving towards, that I've been on this journey towards? And more than ever, the energies of the sky are on our side. The energies of the sky are on our side. and we are walking through together, and it's just redirecting the energies that go against, that have us navigate backwards through the desert. Because we're going to be in the desert. You're going to have to take every step. There's no helicopters. There's no one here to save you. You have to save yourself. And that's the message, that we have to save ourselves. There's not going to be anything to save us. Our ancestors survived, and we are not just here to survive. We're here to thrive. But there's no one that's just going to just throw down a ladder. We have to walk this every single step, one step at a time. We have to recognize that we have to channel our energy. We have to stay focused and understand what is our truth. And that's how all of the energies are at play right now. And I'm excited to continue talking about the energies and continue offering these messages that I hope uplift. Something that I do every single night before I go to bed is I forgive every single person that I interacted with that day. And if there was an interaction or a mindset that rubbed the wrong way, I forgive them. As I lay in bed, I do that. I do that prayer. I encapsulate myself and that person in a ball of light, because I don't want toxic energy to put me in a place where I'm not manifesting my dreams, because I'm too busy, that Mars and Scorpio, I'm too busy being angry and aggressive, but knowing fully well that no one's really holding me back. It's really my ability to say, this is who I am and this is what I need. And so that's something I would leave you with, is just like continued forgiveness and compassion for others and yourself. And recognizing that as we do that, we clear all this energy around us that lets more opportunity in. Opportunities cannot come in if we have resentment in our vibe. They just don't. They conflict. The big opportunities for sure conflict. And so I'm sending you this energy of compassion, love, and forgiveness on your really long journey. And we're in it together. I'm in it right alongside of you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for connecting with me. I'm on Instagram, Adorable Earth Angel. Thank you so much for emailing me if you'd like. And I love hearing from you, like the topics that you want to talk about, the things that you're curious about. I've made a really beautiful medicinal musical mix for you. Wow, medicinal musical mix. I love that. I made some music that's following every show. There's some music that is that I've curated for you. Just things that I love. A little bit of a disc jockey. Such an old school term. But I hope you're well. Until next week, we will connect. I'm sending you so much love and positivity.